Hi, my name's Pete. So I want to start my talk by asking you to think back to your youth. Might be a little harder for some of us than others, right? Think back to your youth and think back to a moment of music making. Perhaps a moment of live music making. Think back to your youth and think back to a moment of music making that helped you connect with your community. Helped you connect with people around you. Maybe helped you connect with a special someone. For me, I'm thinking back to 2005. 2005, that was the first proper gig I ever went to. Me and a load of mates, we packed onto a train at Derby. We went up to Manchester, up to the City of Manchester Stadium to see Oasis. And all of these years later, in my mind, I can still see really vividly how people were connecting, how people were coming together. In an almost spiritual moment, how people were enjoying the music. I hope you've got some similar memories that you're thinking back to all of these years later. And that's because music, it helps us connect like nothing else. Now, I'm thinking back to 2005. If I'm honest, there are any number of gigs, concerts, events that I could talk about. I could talk about 2012, when I used to go to the Slade Rooms in Wolverhampton every Thursday night. Didn't matter what band was playing, what artist was on. Most of the time, I didn't even check before. I'd just go and experience live music with the people around me. It really is special. It really helps us to connect. And live music is magical in that way. So we could really think back to all sorts of memories, all sorts of experiences that we have. And these kind of communities grow around these incredible spaces. And the bands that perform, they become these communities. And they become these venues. And there's a symbiotic relationship between all of these things that helps to fuel our communities. That helps to put music venues as the beating heart of what community is. And they're so important. Bands, they become the spaces. They go to these venues. They log some of their 10,000 hours towards greatness. And that all feeds into the identity of what they are, the identity of what they mean to us. The bands pick up little things from these communities along the way. I mean, you could argue, would the Beatles be who they were without the Cavern Club in Liverpool? Or would the Beatles be who they were without the Assembly Rooms Tamworth, where they performed in 1963? On this very stage, maybe I'm in the same space as Ringo, who knows? So music venues, they're so important to community. They're so important to us. And in the United Kingdom, we really are blessed with incredible music-making spaces. We're world leaders in this. There's so many amazing ones. Take somewhere like the Royal Albert Hall. Iconic around the world, famous. Maybe you might feel not the space for you. Maybe you might feel it's a little elitist. Yet it opens its doors to the best from the world of classical music, jazz, rock, hip hop. It doesn't matter what your taste. It is a space where you can go and enjoy live music. And that's the thing with live music. It doesn't matter what you like. It doesn't matter what bands you want to listen to, what you stream. There is a community there that will welcome you. A community that will make you feel embraced, make you feel at home with people who share the same taste as you. Now, the incredible music venues we have in this country. I could stand on this stage and I could talk to you about any number. I could say to you about the Hare and Hounds in Birmingham, or the Sunflower Lounge, or the Flapper and Firkin, or Rock City in Nottingham, or Brudenell Social Club in Leeds. There are so many incredible venues that are so important to me. Perhaps in your mind, you're thinking back to one that's important to you. And these spaces, they really are at the heart of our community, at the heart of live music. And they're so, so important for us. Every single town and city has one jewel where people will go and almost worship live music. Now, when you're thinking back in your mind to that moment of live music making from your youth, when you're thinking back all of these years, I would hope that the vision in your mind, how beautiful it is, how well kept it is, I would really hope that in the present day, that venue is just as beautiful and pristine as it was those years ago. But the reality is, music venues in the United Kingdom are in crisis. The Music Venues Trust, an incredible charity that works with music venues. The Music Venues Trust estimate in the next 6 months, 350 live music venues, grassroots music making spaces, will stop putting on events. When a grassroots music venue closes, it isn't just the amp that's turned off, or the microphones that are unplugged, or the staff that have to find another job. It is a community that is homeless. It is a place where people can come together, feel welcome, feel included, that is gone. It is a sense of belonging that leaves people's hearts. Music venues are in crisis. It might not be too late to act. Perhaps by going and watching 1 or 2 more gigs this year, perhaps you can save a community. Perhaps you can save inclusivity in our country. But more must be done. The Minister for Culture, Media and Sport has already identified this as being one of the biggest problems for communities in the United Kingdom. But more must be done. With funding, with help, with support, these incredibly important places can thrive. But it must be done quickly. Now, grassroots music venues, they can tackle a lot of the problems that we have in society. Take loneliness amongst the elderly. We have an epidemic of loneliness amongst the elderly in this country. But many people who are feeling that way, they will have spent a lot of their youth at music venues, maybe at the assembly rooms watching the Beatles in 1963. Can grassroots music venues be given money to open up during the day, to put on events, to bring a sense of belonging and connection to elderly people facing loneliness? And what about the youth? Well, I work with young musicians every single day. I know in this country we have an untapped market of talented musicians. Can grassroots music venues be given funding to open up after school? To be a safe space, a welcoming space, an inclusive space for young people that need it? To give people a chance to come and perform, to log some of those 10,000 hours on their route to greatness. And if we're talking about young people, in this country, we have an epidemic of mental health problems. From my experience, grassroots music venues do more than almost any other space to tackle this. They truly are assets of community value. They truly are pillars of our community. Can they be given a status to support this? More must be done to help. So, think back now to your youth, to that live music making event that's in your mind. Think about how it stayed with you all of these years later. Think about maybe how it's helped to shape who you are as a person, your life journey. Now, think of a society, a community, a world where that doesn't exist. Think of what that might mean to your children or grandchildren's generation. Think about a society without the inclusion, togetherness, and belonging that live music brings. Community is live music. Community is grassroots music venues. Thank you very much.